Good afternoon, everybody. I'm from the American degree program, and we follow the liberal arts curriculum. So embedding the Taylor's graduate capabilities into all our courses has been going on ever since the program started. Then way back in 2002, Taylor says, hey, we call this Taylor's graduate capabilities. Then we say that, hey, we've been doing this all this while, except that we don't call it Taylor's graduate capabilities, but it is students' experience. And we have been doing this project for many years. I started off doing this project by myself. Then 3 years ago, I decided to include the accounting class together with my class to work on a common theme. And the idea is that we feel that people who work in the food industries or any other industries, invariably, they will have to know about costing. And therefore, it is very good that we collaborate with the accounting student. All right, I'll talk about my part. I'm teaching Nutrition 201, which is the first level nutrition course. It is the fundamentals of human nutrition, and students in this course studies the various nutrients that are essential for human, and they also learn how to calculate food energy, learn about food labels requirements. So for this project, they will be able to apply the theoretical concepts to real-life situations. Again, I'm quite lucky in that I do things maybe intuitively, but there was no specific term attached to what I did. Then during the Teaching and Learning Festival, when Dr. Colin Beard says, experiential learning means that you develop the knowledge together, you map your knowledge together, and you walk the talk. And while doing that, you will learn and remember more. And when I reflect back on what I did in this project, it is certainly experiential learning because students really have to walk the talk. So they will have to apply the theoretical concepts. They will learn to define and analyze problems. So problem solving skills is one of the TGC that we will implement. They would be able to retrieve information, so that would be lifelong learning independently, retrieve information from all the sources, multiple sources, able to form opinions on diverse perspectives. Multidisciplinary perspectives is what we are looking at, not only in the sciences, but also in finance and accounting, and ability to work with others. And I can guarantee you, sometimes they fight very badly, and they will come to me, and then we will have to settle it out and mediate. All right, and the ability to use integrated computer technology. So what did we actually do, right? Now, the group membership, we will have 2 students from the nutrition class and 2 students from the accounting class. Well, they can choose their partners. Sometimes the the Nutrition 201 course is both a core and an elective course, which means that we get also students from accounting who will take the nutrition course as a life science requirement under the under the general education requirement for the American degree program. So sometimes one student may be on both courses, but sometimes they are not. We have independently students from nutrition class as well as students from the accounting class. So both classes will be engaged, and they would have to discuss to cook one type of food using healthy ingredients, follow nutritional guidelines at lowest cost. So they would have to think it out, and then in addition, for my nutrition course, they would have to create a food label to identify their food according to all the requirements of the United States Food and Drug Administration. Because we're doing an American degree, we follow the US FDA requirements. And to get diverse perspectives by opening up their food for public tasting. So how do I assess them? There are various ways that I assess. This project contributed 20% to the total course assessment, and each of these portions all contributed 100 points. So what I did was calculations, total energy content. They will learn their discipline knowledge. They will have to develop their knowledge together. They would have to solve their problems together. They would have to retrieve information and arrive at workable situations. So that is where they will cover. So under calculations, they would have to calculate total energy content of the food that they're going to cook, total energy from fat. That is a specific requirement of the US FDA, that in food labels they have to show both total energy as well as energy from fat, because a lot of people in America are consuming too much fat. So we need to identify that. Percent daily values and grams of the energy producing nutrients only. Because this is a calculation, we cannot determine the other nutrients like vitamins and minerals. So we use an estimation method. So we do not really determine the food energy, but it is done by calculations. Then the nutrition facts also, they have to understand what is serving size. This is very important requirement of the food label. They have to list the major ingredients that they used and list ingredients in descending order. Again, these are the guidelines of the US FDA for a food label. So those are the TGCs that they would have. And general facts claims, if any, are supported. So distinct identity of food. Now, these three parts are actually formative. So the students have to go around several times and they have to submit their work and let me check. If they have problems, then or they have made wrong calculations, then they would have to redo it. So generally they will get the 30%, full 30% or 30 points from that, because it's formative. The objective is for them to learn how to calculate the nutrients from a variety of food, because all of us know that food is a combination of nutrients. If you eat bread, bread is not just carbohydrates. Sometimes you have other things. You have also fat in the bread. So they will understand that food is actually a combination of nutrients. Now, how do they extract out the amount of nutrients? How to know which type of nutrients? Then they would have to go and look for the information. They have to discuss together, right? Someone will say, no, right? Another student will say, no, this is not right. So they would have to discuss and resolve their differences. So that is where they will learn their interpersonal skills. Now the final product is a 30%. The food label is attractive. Well, this is a little bit subjective, because attractive and creative is very subjective, right? And it reflects the food. This is very important, because sometimes students, what they do is that they will go to Google's, get a nice picture of the food and then put it on their labels. And then when I look on the real, hey, this is not the food you cook. How can you put something? That's plagiarism. All right? Well, it's visual plagiarism. So they have, so in order to give the final product, they actually have to try it out one time. Take a picture and then put that into their food label. So it actually involves quite a lot of work. So I give them about 1 month to prepare this. Okay? Food is creative and healthy. And healthy means they have to use healthy ingredients. Okay? They can substitute some of the ingredients. For instance, white flour is not that healthy. They can substitute white flour with wholemeal flour. And that would be healthier, because according to the My Pyramid requirements, we have to eat less processed food and more of the wholesome grains. Then public evaluation of taste. So after they've created the food, they will display the food, and then everybody will come and taste. So that is where they will get opinion and perspectives from multiple disciplines, and everybody will come and taste the food. But I always tell them, don't be too generous. When you go to the supermarket, food sampling is the tiniest piece you can find. Okay? That is the attraction to make them buy the food, so that they will make some money to cover the cost of this project. So this project is actually self-financing. We don't get any money from the program. They will create the food, they sell at the profit goes back to cover the costs, and also if they make a profit, they can enjoy or share out the money. So that is where they understand accounting principles coming in. Okay? Now, interpersonal skills, how do we assess them? We use a round-robin peer evaluation. And instructor's evaluation, obviously, I have to keep this part to put the whole group into perspective, because otherwise then they'll get 100% and there's no more differentiation. So that's why I keep the 20% here to look at the overall effort and the product. So I'll go around, and also formative assessment. If they don't come back, then I know that they don't put in that amount of effort. Okay, so calculations, these are a whole range of calculations. This is just an example. For instance, if they use Parmesan cheese and they got it from the net, that Parmesan cheese for 118 grams, it contains so many grams of carbs, fat, and protein, but they use 80 grams, so they have to recalculate it. So there's a long list of calculations that they have to do. The more ingredients that they use, the more calculations they have to do. And then from there, they calculate 4.1 is actually a conversion factor. Sorry, it should be 4, and then fat, how did I get the 50? There's something wrong there, okay? Then after that, they have to total up their calories, then they have to understand what is percent daily values, and from here they understand that whenever food labels show percent daily values, it is always more informative than showing you in grams. Because when you see grams, have you fulfilled your requirement? It's very difficult. But when you look at percent daily values, then you know, okay, everybody should consume 100% of the RDA, which is 100% daily values. So if you consume 30% out of this, then you know, okay, I only consume 30% fat, I have 70% to consume, so I can still eat. So that's why percent daily values is always more informative. Okay, so this is public tasting. Generally, their friends are very kind, give them very good marks. And I think it's okay. All right, they enjoy it, and then they will also have fun out of this. This is the group peer evaluation. So if we have the evaluator is Sabrina, she will evaluate 4 other people in a group. In return, 4 other people will be evaluating her. So at the end, we get average of everything. Okay, so as you can see, students can actually sometimes be very, very cruel. Yeah, if you don't participate, they'll give 0. Sometimes lecturers are kinder, say, okay, I give you some sympathy marks. But sometimes students know, because if they don't work well, they are going to evaluate each other that way. Okay, so this is an example of a good food label, 90%, this sweet potato, high in calcium, this is not supported. I checked their food labels, it's not supported. So that's why they don't get very full marks. Okay, now this is a Korean dish. I think some of us know about this, but they used a very good ingredient. In addition to rice, they use oats, right? Everything is confirmed here. High fiber, the fiber is 40%. According to US FDA, anything greater than 25% is considered high. So the claim is supported. So that is where I look at it and assess them. It is attractive, they have prepared it 1 round, and they photograph the actual food that they sold on that day. Now this is a very bad example. I won't say bad, for all the formative work that they have done, we still pass them. In ADP, 70% is a C. So we still pass them, but this is not very good. Where is the identity of the food? What is this food? I don't know. And it's so simple, they go and take bread and put garlic butter. There's no effort there, okay? So they lose out on the effort. And nutrition facts, this is suspected plagiarized from Google's. Okay, so this is 70%. I'll pass to my partner who will be talking about the accounting part.
Okay, this is on accounting too. The accounting part is more on the managerial side of the accounting rather than the financial side. So the manager, we're talking about more on costing, how do you cost, or the variance, budgeting, and all those things, yeah, right? And this is the objective that we combine. Mine is the same thing, the ability to apply the theoretical concept. So in class, I teach them about costing, budgeting, cost, volume, profit analysis, and all those things. And here they're going to apply it in the project itself. And you are defining and analyze problem to arrive at an effective solution. So as Bessie said, they're going to work with the nutrition people. They're going to fight it out, and what type of food, what type of ingredient they want to use, at what cost. And then here we are talking costing. Here they're talking about very nutrition food. So how are they going to compromise on the cost? And then on the third part, locate, extract, and information, same thing. Whereby once you've done the budgeting, whatever, then they can find out how much of costing, how much of profit they make, how much of markup they have to do, and all those things. And then the variance, there's a positive and negative variance. And then, of course, they're going to communicate appropriate in various setting and molding on mode. So once the food is cooked, they have to display and then they have to market it as a kind of entrepreneurial skill. How to market to the student and how to sell it off. And then ability to work with others. As you now it's a different discipline. They have to come down and compromise and talk it over. As you were saying earlier, they do a fight. They are not contributing, she is not contributing, and then they go fight. And then we have to resolve it on our lecturer position there. And of course, ability to reflect on one's action, ability, and behavior. So now they know what is your weakness, what is your strength, how do you going to communicate with people. And some are very stubborn, and some are very proud, they don't want to mix with people. Now you know your personality. And then of course the last part, the ability to use integrated computer technology. They're going to use the Excel to do all the calculations and do the variance and the budgeting. And this is the accounting concept teaching class. And they're going to learn this in class and then they're going to apply it in the real life. Budgeting control, we're talking about variance. Then they learn about cost concept, about what is a direct cost, what is the indirect cost, and what are overheads. Product pricing, how do you derive at the costing, using a predetermined overhead rates. And then of course, cost behavior, what are considered variable costs, what are considered fixed costs. All those are taught in class. Now they have to distinguish which one is which one when they calculate their costing. And then I'm talking about cost, volume, profit analysis. Now we talk about break even. How much is the break even and how much profit do you need to make and how much you have to sell. And then the last thing, I need them to calculate the profitability and the management operating performance. And so what percentage of earning they get. Just a net income ratio, all these things, yeah. And then of course the others is entrepreneurial skill. And the most one, they learn how to cook and to prepare meal when they go to the United States. Most of these are, sorry to say, we are a lot of spoiled brat. They don't know how to cook. Now for once they learn how to cook a little bit of food and how to survive themselves. My assessment is the whole project is only 10% for mine. And then from then this is a total of 100%. So they have to submit to me a budget proposal. Once they've decided what food to cook with the nutrition people, then you have to set up with me a budget proposal. What are the things I need, how much of grams and all those things. Then after they've done that, they'll do the actual costing. But now they do the actual cooking, how much of ingredient they use, how many grams. So they have to derive that. And then the difference within that two is called the variance, whether they are favorable or unfavorable. Do they use more or do they use less? And then about the costing itself. And then after that, 30%, I want them to write to me a reflective journal about themselves, personality, were you able to mix with people, team spirit, cooperation with other people, and how much I've learned I apply on the cost perspective in the project itself. And then the last part is around Robin. Accounts will evaluate the nutrition evaluate the accounting, as what Bessie had mentioned earlier. This is a proposed budget they have to submit to me prior to the cooking. They have the food, the direct material, and then the direct labor, and then the overheads. All those are insignificant stuff, so they put in the overhead. So they use 5% of the total material cost as estimates. So they have to cook about 10 servings. So the total cost is $37.43 and do a markup of 50%. This is what they propose. So the sales revenue is $52.20. So they want to sell it at $5.62 per serving. And then this is the actual cost they cook now. The actual cost now, it costs them more. So they cut down their profit to 49% markup. So now the total cost is 70, or sales revenue. They're going to sell it for $7. So 10 servings will be $70. This is the actual production of 10 kebab. And then this is a variance, which is the budget and the actual. And the difference, we call it variance as unfavorable or favorable. You use more, it becomes unfavorable. Less will be favorable. And this is what they learn from there. And then the sales revenue, favorable for profit, and the total income they make from the sales is $23.12. And performance evaluation of sales, there's about 30% of the return, which is very good. And this is a peer evaluation. where the accounts now evaluate their classmates as well as the nutrition people there. And apparently ours is a little bit more generous than them. So we give them 4 for 4 out of 5. And then this is, they have to display during the sales, they have to display the costing to the students, all right, in the public display, and how much of makeup they make from there for one serving. And this is the nutrition side of the facts there. And then this is what they display. And in our foyer there, between temptation, they set up the tables. So that's where they sell the food and public display. And same thing, those cannot be seen. And then this one was held earlier, in the earlier part, where we're doing the student service center on the hallway. And where people will come, all the other students for other program will come and buy the food and taste the food. And this is where they sell it. You know, they're willing to bring up $10 to buy those bobo cha-cha or something like that. And then, and this guy here, it is supposed to be another slide here. So they sold out their food and they're very happy. So this is it. Thank you so much. Any question from the floor that Bessie and I can help out? Ours is very much to the project itself, just like School of Liberal Arts. Even the engineering, we have projects for them to learn and to apply the knowledge. It's part of our course curriculum. This is about 10%, that's all. Even if you get full marks, you won't pass. You see have quizzes, you see have participation, you see have tests and the final exams and projects. Quite a lot of things to do there for them to earn the marks.
How long they will do this project? It looks like a small project, right?
This is a kind of a term project. They have 14 weeks.
The whole semester they will be doing?
Yeah, whole semester, but not the whole 14 weeks. We have to set them a certain specific time to get this thing done. So in between, they have to do all the groundwork first, and then negotiate with the other side, sit down, meet up.
So the final exhibition of the food and then evaluations will be done at the end of the semester?
Yeah. Once they finish the project, then they'll give us all the stuff, and then we will evaluate them, peer-to-peer, on those things.
Any more questions? We can have one more question actually. Everybody's so hungry.
It's food.
So, if there's no more question, thank you so much to Ms. Bessie as well as Mr. Cheong from School of Liberal Arts.